Hello ladies and gentlemen, what is up? I am Darnock with TGN bringing you a Skyrim mod video. I will be joining MF Pallytime on this wonderful Skyrim mods show he has been creating and building for the past several months. If you do not know who I am, there is a skeleton under there. I just realized that's interesting. But if you do not know who I am, I have been doing a lot of videos on just the plain old youtube.com/Skyrim. I've been doing a Let's Play over there. I've been playing around with a few mods there as well, and I decided, well, I wanted to get a little bit more into the mod portion of the game, and so I talked to MF Pallytime, asked if he would have me on his wonderful channel. He agreed graciously. I guess not channel, but show. But regardless, we are going to be a tag team in this from here on out, so there will be twice as many mods, and more variety is always a good thing in my book. He's still going to be around, don't worry. He's still going to be doing just as much work as he has been, because he is a total boss. So with that out of the way, the mod I will be kicking this off with is going to be Fendrix's Magic Expanded. And it's a little bit similar to Midas Magic in that it adds a bunch more spells into the game. However, what this one does is it actually adds 80 spells into the game, which is a huge number. That's actually ridiculous. So initially my plan was Initially my plan was to go through and show you guys every single one, but that actually took really long and actually was not that exciting. So what I've done is I've picked out my 8 or 9 favorites I think I ended up landing on, and I will be showing those to you guys. Now, real quick, the way you acquire these spells in-game is you have to come up here to the capital area of Whiterun. You gotta go in there, you gotta go talk to the mage, Farengar, I think his name is, or something along those lines anyway, and you can buy all the spell tomes from him. However, it is pretty balanced. These spells are very powerful, but as a result they have very high mana costs and are very expensive as well. So I think they're pretty well balanced. I've actually, just for the purposes of this video, turned on God mode, so I have infinite magicka, so I can actually cast these all in a row. I've also added myself a bunch of money, so I can just go buy all of them instantly. So don't expect to be able to boot up this mod and, without cheating, have like all 80 spells in your inventory. That's actually not going to happen. You're going to have to work for the increased power. So we're going to open up the favorites menu here. I've bound like the top 9 I like. The first one is Conjure Dremora Lord, which by itself is just totally badass. I'm just going to go down the line and exhibit all of them to you. So first, let's whack this guy, let's piss him off, and then we're going to conjure our Dremora Lord, and we're going to see how badass it is. And it's pretty badass. It just two-shotted him, set him on fire, and he's going to continue running around, owning people up. So the Dremora Lord is pretty damn awesome, I do have to say. Next, there is Conjure Familiar Host. Now, normally this would summon 3 Spectral Wolves. When we cast it right now, you see it's just going to be 1. The reason for that is this actually adds some more perks into the game as well, one of which is a perk that allows you to summon not multiple conjurations at a time, but get multiple things out of a single conjuration. So, for instance, if I had that perk, we would actually be summoning 3 of these wolves with a single click, and obviously it would be a lot better with just the 1 wolf. It's not that strong, but if you have 3 or 4 running around killing everything, it does get pretty damn good. Next is one of my favorites. This is Elemental Cloak. So what we're going to do is we're going to charge it up, we're going to cast it, and then you see there's going to be this particle effect whirling around us. Let's actually go third person. You see, there we go, brilliant. And these guys are actually taking a lot of damage from it. What it does is it just has the 3 primary elements in Skyrim, fire, ice, and electricity, sparks, whirling around you, and it just deals AoE damage to anybody that is by you. So I actually think that's a really cool one to pair up with this melee weapon or something of that nature. Just be dealing that passive damage, and then go in and start whacking them with your melee weapon, or start hitting them with another spell or something of that nature. I really like that one. Another cool one is Enhanced Weapon Speed. It basically is what it sounds like. I'm not even going to have to fight somebody to exhibit this. Basically, here is how fast I attack normally. And then if we pop this spell, you'll see I am really swinging. Now, you see, it doesn't last very long. It is pretty expensive. I'm actually going to go check this for you. This UI, though, this part is not part of the mod. This is from Sky UI, which I don't remember if MF Pallytime covered it here. I know I covered it on the primary Skyrim show, so if you're interested, go check that out. But you see, that one is 352 mana a pop. So, or magicka, I suppose, is actually what I should be referring to it as. So obviously, it's not really something you can sustain, but when you're swinging like 10 times in a second, you don't really need to sustain it all that much, in my opinion. Next is the most badass one of them all, Phoenix Destroyer, and just watch this, guys. Are you ready? Are you ready? Focus. Yeah, basically it uses the dragon attack. and you just shoot that out and kill everything. So that's definitely my favorite. It's obviously a destruction spell, and it definitely fulfills its purpose right there. Again, one of my favorites. That's not the right button. The second to last one is Rune Calm, which I think is a pretty cool one. It basically is the opposite of Frenzy. Frenzy, of course, will make somebody angry and start attacking things. Calm does the opposite, so you see we're going to cast this under the guard who's angry at us. And this is in beta, so this doesn't work quite right all the time. Usually takes me 2 or 3 tries. So we're going to try to get this working. And this Whiterun guard is obviously not wanting to cooperate. There we go. So you see it has worked out. Again, this is the beta version, so I'm sure in a couple of updates that will work completely okay. As it is now, it still is a pretty useful disengage tool if you do end up needing something like that. And then finally, one of my favorites is Time Stop. It just makes you feel so cool, like a Chrono Mage, basically. So you see we're going to piss off the guard. He's angry. He's going to try and hit us now. We're going to cast Time Stop. And it stops time. It does slow you down a little bit, but you see you can still do stuff. You can still move around. You can attack. I actually don't know if you can then stealth and start getting sneak attack damage. Actually, that didn't occur to me until now, but if you could, that would actually be really neat. And again, it's a very, very high mana cost, so chances are you are not going to be able to spam it, but still, it's very, very cool. And actually, I wonder, we're going to cast that, and I want to see if we can switch over to enhanced weapon speed and see if we can combo these together. And yeah, it looks like we can. So that's going to be one dead guard as soon as time comes back. Whoa! Apparently it'll save up the kinetic energy as well. So those are my 9 favorite mods. I'll give you a quick look at the list of the rest. So let's open that up. We're going to start with Alteration. The main thing that Alteration has that I didn't show you folks is it basically has Fortify every single stat in the game. Basically you can increase one stat by a fair amount for 10 seconds. And the mana cost isn't super high, but obviously you aren't going to be able to spam that 100% of the time or anything like that. So that's the main thing that Alteration has to offer that I never really showed you. Illusion has a lot of runes. Another cool thing it has is for every illusion rune, it also has a rune repeater. So let me actually show you that real quick. Basically what that means is instead of just casting one rune at a time, you just hold this down and actually cast it somewhere where you can. You see I'm just like laying a huge line of all these runes. And there is a pretty low cap for that initially. However, there is a perk that will raise the maximum number of runes you can have out on the field to 1,000. So that's pretty good. You can just make a giant wall, basically, of runes, and whatever passes it will get owned. And there is a floating sword right there. And pick that out of the air. So that's Illusion. Over in Destruction, a lot of the Destruction spells are pretty similar. Basically, for every destruction spell here, there are 3 different types. There's the ice version, the fire version, and the lightning version, the sparks version. So basically, whichever one you have perked into, you can use that, or whichever one you like the look of best. And it basically follows the same progression. There's Barrage, which is pretty good. Then there's Blast, which is even better. And it always ends up in, like, you know, a higher version, basically. I don't remember the exact archetype of it, but that's how it goes. Another of my favorites is actually Glacial Entombment, so I'll show you that real quick. Basically, it just works how it sounds. We're going to cast it on this guy, and there we go. He is now locked in ice. I think it does break after a little bit. I think it actually says that over here. Glacial Entombment. It actually doesn't say how long it lasts, but still pretty cool. You can obviously hit them while they are down, and it's just a pretty neat spell to have. Very good for freezing scary guys. Hello. Anyways, moving on. Conjuration, again, follows basically the same theme of conjuring different things. Flame Atronach is obviously already in the game, but you can get Familiar Host. There's actually, in the new version, which I'm not using right now, the latest version that did just come out, you can actually conjure a Dremora Lord Host as well, so you get 3 of those guys. There's also Conjure Atronach Host, which is up here. Again, wasn't able to use that because I don't have the perk, but you see it does conjure 1 Atronach per element, which is very, very strong, obviously. Restoration is probably the least expanded school of magic, but it's still pretty handy. Basically what it'll do is it'll just give you 3 more spells. It'll give you resistance barrier, which gives 100% resistance to fire, frost, poison, and shock for 5 seconds. Resistance field greater, which is that, just not quite as good. And then another lesser version of that. So still obviously not the most expanded area, but it does have some pretty good niche spells right there. So that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching my very first video here on the Skyrim Mods Show. It was a blast. I will be giving you guys a whole lot more videos as well in the future, and just upload, or not upload this, but load this mod into your game and start playing around with Phoenix Blast, because it is a ball. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.